So in this video I'm going to do the Econ quiz which they gave, so it'll be good revision, so I decided to explain it so any question that might come out that is familiar you would know. Okay, so the first question is, all economic questions are because we want more than what we can get. So Parkin calls this inability to satisfy all our want is called scarcity. So according to the meaning of scarcity, what does it mean? That's the question which they ask. Now, in economics, the whole reason why we do it is because of scarcity. So if we look at all the options, only poor people face scarcity. That's obviously false. Rich people also face scarcity. Because at the end of the day, if there was no such thing as scarcity, there will be no economics involved. Everything is scarcity. A rich person still can't afford the whole earth, for example. It's scarcity, right? So if we look at the options, I can see that rich people are affected by scarcity, which is true. Also, we face scarcity as a society. So society is everyone. Society is all the population. And rich people also affect society. So those will be my two correct answers. So it will be this, right? Because remember, scarcity, everyone gets affected, okay? So everyone gets affected means rich people get affected. Also the whole society. So that's the correct answer. So for the third question, the value of the United States stock market reached records level high after Donald Trump got elected as president. So whenever they give you this, and it's kind of like a statement where something happened after something, the key word would be post hoc fallacy, right? Now the post hoc fallacy basically says if something happened before something, that's because of that thing happened. For example, you got A and B events. Now A happened. Now because A happened, B is this. Okay, so basically you are saying because something happened, this happened. So every time you see that something happened because something happened, it's called a post hoc fallacy. Okay, post is like something after, so that's how you will know it. Now the next question, question 4. The argument, if one farmer increases revenue by growing more tomatoes, all farmers could increase revenue by growing tomatoes. Now what is this? This is an assumption, right? So as soon as I think about assumptions, I want you to go to post hoc fallacy. Now this is a trick question. There's no such thing as this in economics. So it's a fallacy of composition. The fallacy of composition is basically an assumption on something, right? So if I assume because all rich people has houses, they are like, I don't know, they're all rich. That's an assumption, right? So anytime you get a statement that's an assumption, it goes under the fallacy of composition. So that's the correct answer. Now question 5. Which of the following is a normative statement? Okay, so there's two statements. You get normative statement and you get positive statement. They are basically, a normative statement cannot be tested. A positive statement can be tested. So what do I mean by that? So I told you a normative statement can't be tested. So the first point, on average student economics are more intelligent student that does physics. That can be tested. Go to any school, look at the people that took physics and people that took economics, their marks, and you can see who is more intelligent, that you can test that. So that's not normative, that's positive. The rand depreciated by 15%. That is that you can test, okay? Also, normative is like an opinion, okay? So it's like an opinion, and positive is more like not an opinion, it's a fact, okay? So this rand depreciates by 15%. You can test it. You can go online and see it. Also, it's a fact. The South African unemployment rate is too high. You can test it, right? The stats which you can see how much employment level is in South Africa. Higher interest rate. Okay, so let's skip that one for now. This is a fact, right? Kaizer Chiefs beat Orlando. It's a fact. It happened. So the only thing I left with you is the higher interest rates cause people to save more. Now, can I test this? I can't. Now, some people think they can't test this, but think about it. You can't. How are you going to test it? Are you going to go to every single person in the whole world and look at how many people got how much money in the bank account? I mean, it's impossible. I mean, that's illegal, right? So higher interest rate cause people to save more. It's an opinion. because you can't really test this, right? You can't test this. You can't get the whole population on earth to look at how much they save when interests are high. Impossible, illogical. That is why it's a normative statement, in my opinion. The next one, which of the following creates a negative production externality? So next, a negative externality is like a negative impact of production. So if you look at it, is the fertilizer, because all these are negative externalities, but it's not of production. So production is like factories making something or business making something. So farmers, obviously, they they produce fruits and vegetables or whatever. So fertilizers running off the river will damage the river. So it's an impact, but a negative impact. Now the next one. Okay, so in a circular flow of economic activity, this here, just look at your notes, right? It's basically a whole diagram which you need to memorize. But I can clearly see that this is wrong. Labor flows from businesses to households. Firms are also businesses. That's wrong. Because who gives businesses labor? Households, you and I. So that's wrong. This is wrong. So the thing is, I can see this is 100% true. Wages flow from firms to households. So this does make sense. Because think about it. Wages are what businesses pay. So they flow from a business to households in the economy. So without even memorizing the diagram, I know this is true. So make it make sense. So question 8. So this is a market benefit and market cost diagrams. So basically, let's look at what we got over here. So for 4 million produced, okay, so 4 million computers are produced per year. Now you look at this. So 4 million, okay, so it hits that dot and it hits this dot. But if you look at the questions, you have to look at the marginal. Okay, so what is true over here? Over here, marginal cost is higher than marginal benefit. Because marginal benefit is here. So marginal cost exceeds it over here, right? So let's look for which is the right answer. It'll be this. Marginal cost of a computer exceeds marginal benefit. So that statement is true. Because marginal cost is here. Marginal benefit is here. So think about a race. This is number 1. This is number 2. So this is exceeding. And computers. So more computers should be produced. Okay, wait. No. Let's see. Marginal cost. Okay, I see this one. So marginal cost of a computer exceeds marginal benefit. So fewer computers should be produced. Because how do you get to the middle of here? Fewer computers need to be produced because 4 million is here. So you go to less computers produced, which is 3 million. You get to the middle of what we want. So always the middle is something that we want. Okay. So that's the answer. So fewer computers need to be produced to basically go to the equilibrium. Okay, so when we cannot produce more of any good without giving up some other, then we have achieved. Now this talks about the PPF. Posts, another graph we got where it looks like something like it goes like this. So basically, in that graph, they give you 2 products, and if you have to manufacture one more product, you have to give up the other product. And on the PPF, if we make a PPF, basically it looks like this. Like that. So if you got this product, for you to have this product, you have to give it up, so you have less of those products. So any point on this, it means you have reached allocative efficiently. So you have to basically be on this to give up something. So if we look at the answer, it'll be allocative efficiency. Because if you're on the PPF, it means you're giving up a product when you manufacture one of more of the other product. So it means allocative efficiency. Okay, so the next one, question 10. I can clearly see this is the best one over here. Because they're telling me producing 0 chocolate bars and 100 cans of Coke, which is A, is attainable and efficient. Correct. Because whatever this shows over here on the PPF is true, is attainable and efficient, every one of these. So this is 100% true. Because all these over here are just nonsense. I mean, at the end of the day, all these are efficient. Okay, and you can do it. So straight away, without even looking at the others, I can say this is 100% true. Now the next one. So with reference to the above, okay, so to test whether something is positive or negative relationship is a tick. A tick is a positive, so G is positive. Okay, an opposite tick goes like something like this. So if you look at this, is opposite tick. So this is negative. This is negative. Can you see it's like opposite tick? So straight away I can say this is the correct answer. Graph G is positive because it's like a shape of a tick. So that's the only graph that is shape of a tick. So that's positive. So it definitely will be that. Now the next one, an increase in the quantity demanded represented by A. Okay, so increase in quantity demanded will be a movement, let's see, downward. Because quantity demanded, think of the quantity curve, demand curve, right? Now a quantity demand curve will basically look like this. It has a negative relationship. So it looks something like this. Okay, so if you change, now what was the question? An increase in quantity demanded. Now, an increase in demand versus an increase in quantity demanded is different. An increase in demand will basically shift the whole demand curve. So if this was the demand curve, this will shift it like that. But an increase in quantity demanded basically moves along this curve, right? Because this is quantity, this x-axis. So if quantity increase, so let's say if quantity increase, it'll be this dot. So it just moves along this. So if we look back at the answers over here, it'll be a what? It'll be a movement upward, a movement downward and a rightward shift. Along the curve. Because think about it, it went down and it's basically like a rightward. It goes like a right, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, remember, if quantity demand changes, it goes like along, it'll move along this line. But if demand changes, just demand, this whole line will basically go now like this. Okay, so the whole demand change. So that's something which you need to know. So this is definitely a correct answer. Now question 13. Which of the following will cause an outward rightward shift of the demand curve for oranges? Now this is the same thing. This will cause a shift of demand. So a shift of demand, as I told you before, a shift of demand, it changes this line. Instead of the line being here, it will be like this, a shift of demand. Now when I look at all the options, I'll ignore the price. Because if the price decreases, it's going to move along this. Because this, remember, the Y is price. So if the price is over here, and if the price drops in over here, you can clearly see the dot. It just moves along this over here. But if, like, let's say the demand changes, it's going to, like, if the demand decreases, it'll move from this line to this line, you see? So price just moves along. It doesn't change demand. So everything over here, like price, I'll just ignore. Now, how would a rightward shift demand curve for oranges? So a rightward shift of demand is like basically increases demand. So what will increase demand? Will bad weather increase demand? No, if you destroy all the orange, it doesn't basically increase demand. Good weather will result in more oranges. In more oranges in the market, it won't increase demand. But if I look over here, an increase of the price of bananas, which is a substitute for oranges, it will increase demand. Because think about it. Let's say you got over here oranges, which is this, and you got bananas. If the price of bananas increase, which you most likely will pick? You will pick this oranges, right? If bananas, let's say both of them are 10 rand. If suddenly bananas go to like 15 rand, you wouldn't buy bananas, you'll buy this oranges. So the demand of this will increase. So this is the correct answer. Now I'll do a part 2 for the other questions.